Hello and welcome to Nltv. You are watching News Now. I am Chipen Krung. Here are the headlines. With the Hornbill Festival 2021 fast approaching, the Nagaland government has issued new guidelines for tourists and Nagaland-bound travelers. Government to strictly implement the new guidelines. Extra Assistant Commissioner Chumugirima has directed telecom service providers to reposition overhead cables along NH29 in a month. ESC to initiate disciplinary action against erring service providers. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected to lay the foundation stone of the Noida International Airport project at Jawar in the National Capital Region on November 25. The Delhi government Environment Minister Gopal Rai has called for a meeting at the Delhi Secretariat of all concerned departments to discuss measures to tackle rising air pollution in Delhi. The Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs (CCPA) has recommended that the winter session of the Parliament be held from November 29 to December 23rd. And welcome back again. Here are the news in details. As Nagaland begins the preparation for the Hornbill Festival 2021 after a gap of 1 year, the government has released a rephrased SOPs for inbound tourists on November 8. Considering the progress in the state's COVID situation and better governed coverage of vaccination, a suppressed standard operating procedure was issued by the state government. Chief Secretary J. Alam stated that the new SOP will apply from November 11 till further notice. Following the updated SOP, compulsory COVID-19 screening test for in-pouring tourists at all the 8 entry points must be conducted. A violation of the SOP will be severely taken action against. And now we have Opang from the News Desk Live. He will be joining us to enlighten us about the new guidelines that the government of Nagaland has issued. The government of Nagaland has issued some guidelines, so let us go over to Opang. Opang, can you hear me?
I can.
Yes, Opang. Yes, good evening. Kindly enlighten us with the new guidelines that the Nagaland government has come up with, and how are the new guidelines going to be implemented?
With the new implemented SOPs, travelers including tourists entering Nagaland will have to undergo COVID-19 screening tests in the following locations: in Dimapur Airport, railway stations, New Field Check Gate and Talai Gate, in Kohima, Kusama, while in Mohokchung, Chitapla and Wati Yongpang. In Mon, they will have to do the screening at Nagini Mora and TZ, while in Wokha, Bandari, and finally at Pek, they will have to do the screening at Lanya Junction and Akash Bridge.
So for all the various points that the tourists and travelers have to be checked, so how is the testing process planned by the government?
All individuals entering Nagaland will have to undergo screening tests. Screening tests will be done for all individuals, whether they are vaccinated or not vaccinated. They will have to undergo the screening test. However, if they show a mild symptoms of fevers or cough, they will be immediately sent for COVID testing, and they will have to be isolated. It is to be also noted that people that haven't been vaccinated yet, that aren't showing any symptoms during the screening test, will need not have to isolate themselves or have quarantine sessions.
Also, kindly enlighten us with the details for isolation and home quarantine. What has the government said on this?
During the isolation or quarantine process, an individual can either opt for home quarantine or paid quarantine. However, the government will not be taking care of any expenses.
Because there are a lot of expenditures involved here with regards to all the procedures that have to be done. Then in that case, how about the government officials, those who go out and from other states to come in, and also the military personnel?
For the government officials, the concerned departments will take care of the government officials. That includes for the paramilitary and the militaries as well. The concerned units will take care of those concerned departments.
Well, thank you so much, Opang. Thank you. So you have heard the government of Nagaland has issued a new guideline for the tourists, for those people who are planning on entering Nagaland. So the government has issued that mandatory COVID screening shall be done at 8 different points in Dimapur, Wokha, Mukokchung, Kohima, as well as Pek and Mon district, and these districts, they have to undergo mandatory COVID screening. So for those who are tested with mild symptoms, they have to isolate themselves and they have to take a test. Until their test reveals that they are COVID negative, they will be held in quarantine or either home isolation. And also it is to be noted that once the report has come out and they are negative, they are free to go about. And also the same in the case of those who have RT-PCR test, and even though they have not taken any COVID dose, if they have the RT-PCR test and if they are asymptomatic, the government has issued that they need not do the COVID testing. So the government has strictly implemented this, and it is also to be noted that failure to comply with the government's guidelines will invoke Disaster Management Act 2005, and also defaulters will be dealt with the Section 188 of the IPC. Delhi Environment Minister Gopal Rai held a meeting with different pollution control bodies on November 9 at Delhi Secretariat. In the meeting, the environment bodies discussed about measures to mitigate the severe air quality of Delhi following Diwali. It was announced that the severity of Delhi's overall air quality continues to remain for the 3rd consecutive day. According to System of Air Quality and Weather Forecasting and Research, so far, the air quality index AQI is standing at 432. The Delhi government has deployed 114 tankers for sprinkling water to reduce air pollution. Telecom service providers Nagaland have been directed to reposition overhead cables along the National Highway 29 in a month. Extra Assistant Commissioner ESC Chumugerima C. Kritio Solo has demanded that overhanging cables along NH29 from Purana Bazaar to neighboring areas of Chumugerima Timabur be rectified and fixed. ESC cautioned that disciplinary action shall be taken against negligent service providers. He remarked that the chaotic condition of the overhead cable wires were aggravating the locals. The Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs (CCPA) has recommended that the winter session of the Parliament be held from November 29 to December 23rd. Both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha will have simultaneous sitting, but with COVID-19 protocols in place. The session is likely to have 19 sittings. Winter session was cancelled last year due to the pandemic, but Parliament met for budget session and monsoon session this year, with the opposition demanding a debate on the Pegasus snooping allegations and repeal of the 3 farm laws in the previous session. Both issues are likely to come up in winter session as well. The session will also be held in the backdrop of the ruling BJP and the opposition Congress, along with regional parties preparing for elections in 5 states early next year. Madras High Court on Tuesday warned the Greater Chennai Corporation (GCC) on flooding in Chennai. The court says it would take up suo motu public interest litigation petition if situation does not improve. The court said that the corporation must make sure city does not flood during heavy rains. The court adds that the city should not have faced the situation that it was facing now, with many localities flooded. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected to lay the foundation stone of the Noida International Airport project at Mewar in the National Capital Region on November 25. Preparations have already started for a grand event and that will also be attended by Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, and the Chief Minister has reportedly instructed Noida International Airport Limited, the nodal agency implementing the ambitious infrastructure project, to prepare for the event. The new airport near Delhi is being developed in public-private partnership mode and is built to be the highest airport in India after completion. It will be developed in 4 phases, with the complete project estimated to cost around 30,000 crore. The airport will be the first net zero emission airport in its class. Noida International Airport is touted to be Asia's biggest airport. India is all set to host a regional security dialogue on Afghanistan in New Delhi. Ajit Doval to chair the NSA-level meeting on November 10. Several countries, including Russia and Iran, confirmed their participation in the high-level meeting. Although China and Pakistan were invited, they decided to skip the high-level dialogue. This meeting will be a continuation of the format started by Iran in 2018 and 2019. This time, the dialogue will also see highest participation of 7 nations. President Ramnath Kovind presented 4 Padma Vibhushans, 5 Padma Bhushans and 44 Padma Shri on Tuesday. The awards were presented by the President at the civil investiture ceremony held at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. In view of the COVID-19 pandemic situation, the presentation of the awards are being held in 2 parts. The second will take place at 5 p.m. Among the dignitaries present on the occasion were Vice President N. Venkaiah Naidu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Union Home Minister Amit Shah. Padma Vibhushans were presented to archaeologist Bibi Lal, cardiologist Bel Monappa, H. Medicine Narendra Singh Kapani, posthumous for science and engineering, and sculptor Sudarshan Sahu Arts. The second important award, the Padma Bhushan, was presented to former Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan, Public Affairs, top bureaucrat Nripendra Mishra, Civil Service, and posthumously to former Assam Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi for Public Affairs, Ram Vilas Paswan, Public Affairs, and former Gujarat Chief Minister Geshubai Patel, Public Affairs. This year, the list of Padma awardees consists of 7 Padma Vibhushans, 10 Padma Bhushans, and 102 Padma Shri. The Supreme Court on Monday, November 8, 2021, sought response from the Centre on a plea seeking adequate infrastructure across the country for providing effective legal aid to women abused in matrimonial home and creating shelter homes for them. A bench of Justices U.U. Lalit and Justice S. Ravindra Bhatt issued notices to the Union of India, Ministry of Women and Child Development and Ministry of Information and Broadcasting and sought their response by December 6. The top court was hearing a PIL filed by We the Women of India seeking adequate infrastructure under the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act across the country. The plea said domestic violence continues to be the most common crime against women in India despite the Domestic Violence Act 2005 coming into force more than 15 years ago. 4 children admitted to the pediatric critical care unit of Bhopal's Kamala Nehru Hospital died in a fire that broke out on Monday. The fire broke out on the 3rd floor in the pediatric critical care unit. 12 fire engines were rushed to the hospital to control the fire. The fire was brought under control, but children who were seriously ill could not be saved. The cause of the fire is yet to be ascertained, and a high-level inquiry has been ordered into the incident. A children's ward of Kamala Nehru Hospital caught fire on Monday at Bhopal. 4 infants lost their lives in the incident. Speaking on the incident, CM Shivraj Singh Chauhan said that a probe has been ordered into the incident. He also said that this was a case of criminal negligence and a strict action shall be taken against those found guilty. He further added that both private and government hospitals should undergo fire safety audit. Four people and 16 cattle have been killed in rain-related incidents in Theni and Madurai districts in the past 24 hours as rains continue to lash Chennai and the northern districts of Tamil Nadu on Monday. An orange alert has been sounded in Chennai for Monday and Tuesday and a red alert for Wednesday, with India Meteorological Department forecasting more rainfall in the city. Power supply in certain areas of Chennai have been cut off as a safety measure amid heavy rainfall and inundation. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin went for inspection in the affected areas and distributed flood relief assistance to affected people at Royapuram. Stalin has appointed 15 IAS officials to monitor relief work in 15 corporation zones to clear water locking of the subways and other rain-related tasks. Greater Chennai Corporation deployed 23,000 personnel who slogged to restore normalcy. Model and actor Poonam Bandey's husband Sam Ahmed has been arrested by the Mumbai police after Poonam accused him of physical assault. Bandey's husband was arrested on Monday in Mumbai after the actress lodged a complaint against him at a Bandra police station. Poonam has been admitted to a hospital in the city with reports suggesting that she has received injuries on her face and hand. Poonam had earlier in September 2020 lodged a complaint against Sam for assaulting and molesting her. The complaint was filed in Goa, where the couple had gone for their honeymoon after tying the knot earlier that month. Poonam had then stated that her husband had molested, threatened and assaulted her. Sam was taken into custody then, but was soon released on conditional bail the next day. And that's all we have for you now. For more news and updates, keep watching Nagaland TV.